Hey everybody, today I want to talk about my cherry tree and the miraculous growth I've got from this thing. So I did some digging online and just to see how fast a cherry tree is supposed to grow, and I found out that on average it's supposed to grow about 2 feet per year, and it's rumored to grow 3 feet. Now I took a video of this cherry tree last year as I was doing my May garden tour, and so it's May 17th today, which is around the same time as I did this last year. And so this is a full year of growth. It hasn't started growing yet. The leaves just came out literally a couple days ago, so I can say it hasn't started growing. So this is what I have for last year's growth, and you can see this thing has been growing like crazy. So today I want to just do some measurements on this thing, just to show you guys what I have and what I had. So last year this branch was actually the same size as this branch. And you can see we're not talking equals here. This has been totally unexpected. I planted this cherry tree last year. Got it from a neighbor, and it was dying. Like you can see, I ended up cutting this branch here. I had cut this branch here. This branch is cut here. And there was only really one branch here that was growing. And like, I wanted to show you guys the amazing new growth I got. Like, this is this year's growth here. This branch here, this year's growth. This year's growth. You know, this year's growth. Like, this is quite amazing for a 1 year recovery. Like, this is all this year's growth. And the leaves on this thing are just humongous, like humongous cherry leaves. Last year the leaves were like this size. Like, that was the biggest leaf I had, probably, right? I mean, you're looking at a huge difference. So this is a cherry tree that was basically cut here and here. This was about as tall as it went last year, and look at it now. I mean, this thing is crazy growth. So the Back to Eden garden, it's giving me a lot of hope here. I've never seen this much growth on a dying tree, because that's literally all this was last year, was a dying tree. My wife and I really thought that it wouldn't make through the winter. So and you can see, like, it's growing so fast that it's splitting. You can see the tree there splitting. That's how fast the growth is happening here. It's splitting this bark. You see it here splitting. Some crazy growth here. Growing really, really fast. So the wood chips are definitely really helping this thing out. Perhaps the most amazing thing here, I think I'm on my third video of this tree, so I should have lots of footage here, but what's amazing is the size of these branches, these shoots here on this tree. Look at me. Like, this is just this year's growth, right? And you can see here, like, the branch offshoot here, the growth is so fast that the bark is literally just splitting, you know, splitting. Look at it. And this branch here is trying to be as big as this one, or this one, right? The main. And of course I'm getting some splitting there too, you know. This is splitting. Like, it just can't. It's just incredible. And I mean, look at this side. Look at this split here. And this tree is growing like crazy. Like these branches here, they have to be at least 3 feet long, and you know, they're close to half an inch. Like, this is incredible. Incredible. Okay, this branch is currently about the size of my index finger, and this thing is huge. It's, you know, so I'm gonna take some measurements here, show you guys what this looks like. So this small branch here is about just over 2.5 inches, and the top piece, which was the old leader of the tree, was the same size as the bottom here. Now you can see clearly the tree is picking this as the new leader. So this one's just under 3.5 inches. So now we're looking at 6 inches, and you can see the bark has just been ripping. That's how fast it's been growing. It's just been ripping, tearing through all over the place. Now I'm gonna measure this branch. So here I've got just almost 6 inches and 3/4 at the fork here. Now so height wise, last year I walked by this tree, and at my shoulder were basically these branches here. That was at my shoulder. So I'm gonna measure from the fork in the branch here on up. Now I know it did grow a little bit, but the branch actually turned upwards because these two branches were growing sideways. And these two branches were growing sideways, and then they turned upwards, as you can see. So I'm gonna measure that growth. All right, so now I'm gonna show the height. So last year I walked by this tree in the videos, so I'm not making this up, guys. And this year I actually put potatoes down under the tree just to see how well the potatoes would grow under this tree versus other places in my garden. And I'll explain in a sec how I got this crazy growth. But first of all, let's see if I can measure this. All right, so from the fork here on up to the top of that branch,
yeah, you're at the top.
You can see I've kind of curved the measuring tape here to follow the length of that branch. I've got 83 inches. Just to put this in context, I went online and I Googled, and you guys can all do this, look up the growth of a cherry tree, and you'll see about 2 feet is what they say cherry trees should be able to grow per year. So I've got roughly, quite not 83, but like I said earlier, these branches were out like this. They looked like this last year, sideways branches, and they just curved up, and they put about, I'd say they were maybe 12 inches in May, maybe, and they added 70 some inches. So yeah, so 84 inches, right? It's 7 feet of growth. So I've got 83, so I'm almost 7 feet of growth, and that is ridiculous. And you can see, same time of the year, I've got the blossoms on here. It hasn't grown this year yet, so roughly 1 year complete growth. So the way I got this crazy growth, I think there's 3 things. So I've got wood chips under here, of course, and this tree was dying, so I really wanted to give it some life, so I planted it fairly deep. It was a tree I got from my neighbor. It was dying in his yard. He just gave it to me, and I figured I'd try it because the wood chips are supposed to be great. And you can see, I showed you, you know, this was the tree. Now this is the tree. It's a crazy amount of growth. And I'll put in the video the actual amount of wood that I figure we've added on the diameter of this tree. So I got wood chips in here. The other thing I've got under here is right under here, these, if you see that the direction of this, the growth here, it lines up with these 2 hugelkultur beds. Mainly this one. There's some logs under here, and What I'm thinking is happening is this tree is able to spread its roots very easily through the garden because the garden is all nice soft. I dug all this up so it can easily move the roots through the dirt and tap into that log that's down there.
There's logs here.
And on the other side I've got the road, so the branches on the other side are not growing as well, as you can see. They're kind of, you know, the roots on that side are getting up to the road and it's all rocks and it can't get through, so the tree wants to spread this way. So the first thing was the wood chips. We did put a little bit of bone meal under here, but I don't think that's, I've done that with all my trees and it's never yielded anything spectacular like this. The second thing I did, like I said, is the hugelkultur mounds, so near the trees. So I think that's a big contributor for having water year round. The third thing I did is, I don't know if you guys have watched my videos the last few years, but I got fence posts in the back of me. I haven't had a chance to put up my deer fencing yet. So what I've been doing to keep the deer away is I've been peeing on the corners of my garden. Not in my vegetables, but on the corners. And this tree was in the corner and I would irrigate this tree naturally.
Thank God for no neighbors.
For the first year for sure, and then the second year a little bit.
A lot.
And anyway, so this is what it is. So I think the main contributing factor is the urine. Urine is full of nitrogen. If you go on YouTube and Google urine and gardening, you'll see there's dozens and hundreds of videos of guys talking about the benefits of using urine in your garden. It's not as disgusting as you think. You know, when you put manure or you get bags of sheep manure, it's full of urine and manure. It's even more gross as far as I'm concerned. The urine comes out of your body sterile. There is no dangerous bacteria in it. It's basically the same bacteria that's on your skin. So you can't poison yourself or anything like that.
Just don't pee on your vegetables.
Yeah, you can. You can. What I've been doing, what I've started doing this year is I've been treating my beds before I plant. So all through the spring, I've been going around watering through the different beds before I plant. And once I start planting, I'm probably just gonna use the urine for the trees, and I'll stop doing the vegetable beds.
Oh, look though. Look what I found. The berries are blossoming. It's been so freaking cold. Look at that. Little blossoms.
So this was the Spartan tree I planted last year. I did a video of this one. Got lots of blossoms on it this year. We're happy. Some blossoms there, down here. All the where I want them, which is on the end of the branches, because I want to do like Paul Gauci, hopefully have these branches kind of bend down with the weight of the fruit trees. I want to show you guys the additions we did to the garden this year. So I'm pretty excited about these. We added, this is a apple tree with 3 types of apples. I've got some Honeycrisp, which is one of my favorite apples. We got some red, Paula Red, and some Lobo. So 3. Now the Lobo's got no blossoms on it this year, but the other 2 have blossoms. And then we've added, this is a Japanese plum tree. I'm not sure if I'll get pollination out of it this year because my other plum tree isn't blossoming yet. So Japanese plum tree. This is a pear tree, Anjou pear. And then I've got a Lapin cherry tree next to the other cherry tree. This is, I don't know what brand this is because got it from the neighbor. This one I'm really excited about. This is a
nectarine
tree. We love nectarines. I was trying to get a peach tree, but couldn't find one. So we got the nectarine tree, which we love also. Down here.
My wood shelter. Look at that beautiful wood shelter. And that's just a house. Now I can have as many fires as I want because all my wood is dry.
Look, love.
Ooh.
We've got blossoms.
Yay!
Blossoms, pear tree blossoms. So
This is
I've been peeing on this tree quite a bit as well, so it's been doing pretty good. This is last year's growth, so hopefully this year I can get another 4 or 5 feet. Then I'll start trimming it in the spring. But I wanted to show you guys this.
This is our experimental forest.
This is my experimental tree. So when I cut my branches off my apple trees this year, I figured I would just try this technique of just sticking the branches right into the wood chips. And the reason I thought that this might work is because last year when I got these wood chips delivered from the arborist, there was a plum tree branch just mixed into the wood chips. And I just seen this branch sticking up, and I yanked it out, and it had rooted, and it was starting to blossom. So they started to leaf out. I'm hoping that they'll make some nice fruits, and this should give me five trees. So anyways, that's all I got in this video. Bye for now.